How to say no in a healthy, mature way with a few tips and ideas to help you get started that will empower you and take the edge off what can feel like a very difficult situation when you want to say no, but can't find the way to say it. We are going to jump right into it, and the first thing I want to say is that saying no does not have to be awkward or super intense. You can say no with a smile. One of the most common situations people face when they have to set boundaries is when they have to say no. And it is understandable that people have a hard time saying no because you're a good person and you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. It comes from a good place, but you can't cheat yourself out of your own sense of well-being and happiness. So let's start with how to say no. You can say no in a positive way and not offer an explanation. You don't owe anyone a reason. Now, oftentimes you don't want to just say no in a crisp, matter-of-fact way and be silent because that is awkward, especially when it's a friend or a loved one. So I lighten the no with a soft smile and say something that fits the situation, like, "Oh, no, I can't," or "No, I don't want to." And I never offer an apology or a reason because that takes away from my stance in saying no, and it invites them to ask me again with more pressure. This pressure is especially prevalent at the workplace or with family or somebody that you have sympathy for. But it's okay to say no, and you don't have to be weird about it. Now, saying no without an explanation or an apology will feel very weird at first, but after a while, you will get used to it and realize how refreshing it can be. It is also refreshing for the other person, even if they can't see it at the time. I even had to practice saying no in the mirror before I could do it in real life, and that is okay. Learn to say no with a soft smile. Don't say you're sorry and don't offer an explanation. A simple, "No, I can't," or "No, I don't want to," will do the trick. This is a skill you will have to learn, and you will be glad you learned it. There are no super quick tips to make this easier for you. Practice in the mirror or the car when you're alone. Even if you feel silly practicing, do it anyway, and then use it in real life, and you will find that it is not as scary as you thought, and you will feel better about yourself for being able to set a boundary and say no in a healthy, mature way. And after a bit of practice, when a person or a situation will not take no for an answer, you will be used to saying no. You will be comfortable with the dynamic, and a nice, crisp, forceful no will come out of your mouth that stops all the pressure immediately, and you will be thankful that you practiced a bit and learned to assert yourself and set the boundary of saying no. And the last thing I want to touch on is when you say no and it is not being heard, you need to think very strongly about distancing yourself from that person or situation. This, of course, applies to regular circumstances. If there is any kind of harm to anyone involved, you obviously need to seek help immediately and get away from the person or situation at all costs. But if it is friends, family, a job, and they're asking you to do something that is interrupting your life in a significant way, or you aren't comfortable with it for any reason, set a healthy boundary by learning to say no in a mature way. And if they don't want to hear that no, you have to think about creating distance. Any reasonable person that is worth having in your life will be perfectly okay with you saying no. So practice a little bit. Get used to it by using it in everyday situations that come up. And I promise that you will be very proud of yourself each time you set a healthy boundary by saying no with a soft smile in a healthy, mature way. And always remember, it only takes one day to turn everything around.